What's up, YouTube? I'm Brett from Rants or Us, and with us on audio is the other half of Rants or Us, Lance. Say hi, Lance.
Hey guys.
And
Hey guys.
and as always, guys, if y'all enjoy our content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Today we're going to be talking about another little Harry Potter topic that has been on our minds for a while now.
For a long time.
Yeah, for a long time. Ever since we read the books, basically. Did Neville Longbottom get the revenge that he deserved? What do you think, Lance?
Absolutely not. I mean, Neville stepped up his game towards the end for sure. He stood up to Voldemort himself, you know. He killed Nagini, but with what happened to his parents, I felt like he should have been the one that killed Bellatrix. Like,
yeah, I actually agree with that to a certain extent too. I feel like
Alice and Frank were Aurors, and they fought against the first Wizarding War, but then they were tortured into insanity by Bellatrix, her husband, Rodolphus, and Barnabas Crouch Jr. And I felt like it was kind of weak to allow Molly Weasley to kill her off at the end instead of Neville.
Look, I kind of felt like it was weak to allow Molly Weasley to kill her off, period. Even if you took Neville Longbottom out of the equation, because there was no history between the two.
I would agree with that, except for, you know, Molly's brothers kind of fought in that war too, and I don't know for sure, but maybe Bellatrix had something to do with her brothers dying. So
but you know, they never really they didn't really touch on.
Yeah, they didn't really touch on that too much, so I can't say for sure that's what happened, but I know for sure that she played a big part in driving and torturing his parents with the Cruciatus curse until they were legally insane and they were in that mental institution, and his grandmother had to raise him.
I mean, can you imagine the man that Neville Longbottom would have become if he'd had his parents there? Like, he would have become the man that he was at the end.
Or if when Voldemort had heard the prophecy about the child that would become his downfall, if he had felt like Neville was more what's the word I'm looking for? More of the threat than Harry, then Neville would have been the boy who lived, or he would have been the chosen one, you know.
Yeah, you know
because it was between Neville and Harry, and for some reason Voldemort felt like, because of, I guess, Harry's parents being what they were, that Harry was the bigger threat, although from everything I've read, Alice and Frank Longbottom were a big threat during the First War too.
I mean, so much. Look,
so I don't know exactly what made him think it was Harry.
If your torture was done by Death Eaters, then you were pretty high up. Those were specific things that the orders,
especially Death Eaters, especially the Death Eaters that were that high up in rankings, because you know Bellatrix was like his right hand other than Snape.
Yeah, so I mean, you're talking about some orders that comes basically directly from.
And I mean, Barty Crouch Jr. Look at the role Barty Crouch Jr. played. He was pretty much single-handedly responsible for Harry getting to the graveyard so that Voldemort could return.
Yeah. So I mean,
he put Harry's name in the Goblet of Fire. Yeah. He turned the trophy into the portkey that put him in the cemetery that night. And
see, isn't that kind of weird that some of the greatest wizarding minds that was there during that tournament, and we're talking about all the heads of these different schools, were not able to figure out that Crouch was the one behind that, or that he was the capability of it, because they didn't know how that was even occurring.
A lot of that was, all their attention was drawn to Igor Kokorov, because he was a Death Eater and he was the headmaster of Durmstrang at the time. So everybody was looking at him like he was bringing Voldemort back. You remember when him and Snape were having the conversation about, look at our marks, he's about to be back, man. So everybody thought it was him.
Well, I know. I mean, I kind of felt like that's one guy I felt like had too small of a role. Like I thought he
I
would
would
have been
agree
a.
with that.
I would
I
have.
would
I
agree with
thought he would have
that.
been
But
a more interesting character.
when I was reading Goblet of Fire at the first time, as I don't know, 14, 15 years old, I thought it was Snape, man. Like,
He thought it was.
at
Was
that point, I was still reading into things as a kid, and it was
yeah,
like Snape was going to turn out to be the ultimate bad guy,
yeah,
even possibly worse than Voldemort.
yeah.
Like like he had tricked Dumbledore somehow,
You know what?
thinking he had changed.
There's a part of me that kind of makes me wonder if he was more powerful than what we give him credit for, Snape. What is it?
I think so
Occlumency he
because
was so great at?
he was able to trick Voldemort into believing that he had always been a loyal Death Eater, but he was
Yeah.
a spy.
And he had,
And
and to a certain extent, there
because
was
he
a
was so
level
powerful
where
at that.
Dumbledore had respect for him because of his powers. So, I
Yeah,
mean, he
I
was
mean
on up there.
he was one of the most powerful Aquamans of all time, which meant he could block people from reading his mind, even Voldemort. So
Yeah, so, I
Snape
mean,
was
that tells you
definitely more
something.
powerful than what he got credit for
Yeah, I
sure.
mean, even Dumbledore couldn't even read his mind because you remember with his work.
But yet, that's kind of weird because when he was trying to train Harry Potter on how to do that, Harry Potter was able to read his mind, but yet Voldemort and Dumbledore couldn't. So,
That's actually a good. You know what? That's actually a really good point on that.
but
I don't
maybe
really know
that
how that
was,
was explained.
but maybe that was the part of Voldemort's soul that was attached to Harry that made him that powerful enough to do so.
Yeah, and you know what? That I would, if I had to guess, I would say maybe that was probably the case of it. But
But yeah, I
overall,
mean,
overall,
overall,
I feel like
I don't think Neville got the vengeance he deserved. Yeah, he was
yeah,
able to stand up to Voldemort and to the Caro twins that were torturing him at Hogwarts and stuff. But I think it was bittersweet that he did not get to kill Lestrange after what she
yeah.
did to his parents. I mean, Harry gets to beat Voldemort for killing his parents. Why didn't he get to kill her for killing his?
Well, see, I kind of feel like somebody like Bellatrix Lestrange, such a powerful character, deserved a more fitting end than to be killed by Molly Weasley. That had no
Yeah, but
like.
I feel like if it had went the other way and Neville had killed her, people would say the same thing about that. Like she died by Neville.
Yeah, but
But I feel like Neville had character growth though. Like towards the end, he
well,
wasn't
let's
a
face
little
it,
wussy.
Neville
He wasn't a
was.
little wussy he was in year one. Like
No, he wasn't, and he was that way because he had been beat down.
yeah, he
Not
was.
having his parents, he didn't have
It,
that
He was,
structure.
in my opinion, Neville was a true Gryffindor because it's all about bravery. He stood up to Harry and them in the first season, or
Hmm.
first year, and then throughout the story, he started to stand up to anyone who bullied him, including Draco Malfoy. The only person I've never seen him stand up to was Snape.
But I mean, yeah, but see, I can let that slide on that because that's a teacher kid relationship, and let's face it, you don't
The
want to get
only time you
expelled.
the only time you ever really seen him stand up to Snape was when he faced the boggart that looked like Snape and he made him wear his grandma's clothes.
Oh yeah, I forgot all about that. Yeah, you got a
But
good
other
point on
than
that one.
that.
But another thing, when it come to even that,
I mean, he was literally getting tortured at Hogwarts, and he
yeah,
still stood up to them
yeah.
people, and
But as
that
far
speaks character for Neville, and
oh
that's why I say he was a true Gryffindor.
oh
Neville's one of my favorite characters, actually.
yeah, the first read, um, I didn't really pay much attention to Neville Longbottom, but he was there during some really prominent moments. He was there when during the Order of the Phoenix when Severus Black died. He was there with
Sirius Black,
or
yeah.
Sirius Black. I mean Sirius.
When they
Severus.
went to the ministry to get the prophecy, he was
Mhm.
part of that. Him and Little Lovegood too. Little Lovegood's another one of my favorite
Yeah.
characters that I I always felt was highly, highly underrated. Like
Yeah.
everybody acted like she was crazy, but a lot of things she said and did really made sense.
Yeah, I
And
know. I
let's
thought it
face
did
it,
too.
they never would have found the diadem Horcrux without her.
Mm-mm. No, they wouldn't have. They wouldn't have even known where to begin,
And,
really.
and without destroying that, they could have never defeated Voldemort to begin with. So I mean, she played a major role
Yeah.
too, and I felt like she was an underrated character as well. But as far as Neville, I just don't feel like Neville got the revenge he really deserved because he didn't get to be the one to maybe not kill Bellatrix, but to at least defeat her.
I just feel like, too, I don't know if he was the winner in the end, because he ended up with Luna Lovegood. Like.
Well, that's movie wise though. Like that
Yeah,
was
good
never
point. That
talked
is a movie.
that was never talked about in the books.
But
And I mean, I'm not saying that I know read the books is never the answer to tell someone, but
But if you look at the actress that plays her now, you might think that he actually came out on top. You might even think he got a better deal than
I,
Ron
will,
Weasley.
I won't dispute that one.
Yeah. But overall, I would say Neville Longbottom did not get the revenge he
Yeah,
deserved.
I
I felt
don't
like
think
he
so either.
deserved a
And
lot more credit than what he got
he
from
deserved
book
a lot
readers
more
and
credit,
from.
and he definitely deserved to get payback
Hmm.
against Lestrange.
Yes, definitely, definitely. But overall, guys, let us know what y'all think. Do y'all think that Neville Longbottom got his revenge? We personally see it as no. And I think
Yeah,
most of y'all
definitely
will as
no.
well. Yeah.
Definitely no for me.
Yeah, I think it's
Definitely
probably
no.
about a 110% no for me on that one.
And I don't think there's going to be many fans that disagree with that. You know, I
No, I
think
don't. I don't think there will either.
a lot of people are probably like, nah, he should have killed that bee.
Yeah, yeah. I think they'll be right off the bat. They'll be like, if anybody deserved to kill Bellatrix, it's
Neville
him.
Longbottom.
Yeah, it's Neville Longbottom, completely and totally. But as always, guys, if y'all enjoy our content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Thank y'all guys for watching, and y'all take care.